And with that, allow us to transition to the next segment, um, whereby we will also have another speaker, our next speaker, who is Mr. Christopher Nelson. Mr. Christopher Nelson is a cybersecurity expert with over 15 years of experience in different sectors like banking, telecommunication, education, and non-profit. As an executive director of cybersecurity for everyone, he has led efforts to educate and protect diverse communities from cyber threats. He also teaches globally as an ISC instructor and is an adjunct professor in Seneca and Durham colleges with credentials including CS, SSP, PMP, and MBA. Sir Christopher has also published. He's also a very known and seasoned publisher and author and passionate mentor dedicated to advocating in the field of cybersecurity through education and strategic guidance. And so without further ado, let me take this chance to welcome Mr. Christopher Nelson. Over to you to take us through the next segment, which is turning passion into a cybersecurity career. Thank you so much, Mr. Christopher. Over to you.
Thank you very much. First, can you just confirm that you can hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you very
And
clearly.
you can see my slide that says Digital Warriors.
Yes, please, we can see it, yes.
Awesome. So thank you so much. That was a really great session. Pretty hard to follow. I love the enthusiasm, and I think that somebody that also watched Monsters on Netflix, it really provides a great insight into abuse. So I also encourage you to take a look at that, and it will definitely support what was just being said. We're here today to discuss about a digital warrior and this exciting world of cybersecurity and, turning your passions into a cybersecurity career. I fell in love with cybersecurity about 15 years ago, and I really have not looked back since then. It has helped me, my family, my friends to really enjoy and protect their lives. And what we're going to try and cover today is really about the industry demands. We're going to be looking at some of the digital education trends. We'll be looking at the benefits of what is called digital education in cybersecurity. What we hope to achieve is to provide different avenues that people at different levels or at different stages can get into cybersecurity. A lot of people feel, especially, in the age group 15 to 17, like, how do I get there? Especially if I cannot afford it. I can't go to these universities that are offering degrees and masters. Like, how am I going to be able to get there when I may not even have a dollar to study? And we're going to show you some of the tricks of the trade and explain to you that you are already equipped to get into the industry if you begin to follow some of the steps. So, as was mentioned before, my journey as a technology professional is one that started back in the Caribbean. So I've lived in the Caribbean. I grew up in the Caribbean, Jamaica primarily. I've worked in the United States. I've worked in Canada. I currently live in Canada. And I've written a couple of books really about cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, ethics in the workplace. And a recent book that I just completed is really about stand out and get hired. And that also focuses on people who are trying to get positions in cybersecurity and technology. And you may want to look at that one. It's actually on Amazon and on Kindle. It's less than $2 for people who use Kindle. But it's really to provide access and encompasses a lot of what we're discussing today with it, some of the best ways to move forward in the industry. So let's look at what the cybersecurity workforce demand is currently at. There are over 600,000 just in the United States cybersecurity job openings, and 1.1 are employed in the cybersecurity workforce. Now, globally, there are over 3 million positions. There are 3 million vacant positions. My organization is involved in training people globally. We work with the Caribbean, Latin America. Sometimes I'm teaching people in Australia, and we just signed an agreement to begin to teach people in East Africa and Ethiopia, providing free cybersecurity training where possible to give people that leg up into the industry and provide some of the tools that organizations will recognize when people put it on their resumes. So by 2025, the lack of talent or human failure, they estimate, will be responsible for over half of significant cybersecurity incidents, which means that companies involved in insurance and asset management, energy, which is being attacked because, you can have what are called threat actors who are trying to break into energy systems. You have the public sector, you have banking. All of these major companies are looking for people like you to hire. So what are some of these wonderful positions that are out there? Because it's not just one position. And a lot of people say, well, I'm not going to be the best person for cybersecurity because I'm not technical. And cybersecurity isn't about being technical. It's not the person who is using the screwdriver to go inside of the computer and connect the wires. That's not what it's primarily about. It's very focused on governance. It could be compliance. It could be about how to make sure the software that you're using on your phone is done securely so it protects your data. It talks about leadership and managing different people on a team. It deals with governance, the risk involved with the applications. It's also about compliance because you may have to manage people's data. So, for example, you go to the hospital, you give your date of birth, and they also know what illness you suffer from. Well, you may not want all of that information out there. So you have regulatory bodies that make sure that the proper tools are in place to protect that data. You have network security, and you have things like security operations, and as we discussed, software security. So the people who are building the software have to speak with you to make sure that they're building the software securely, and that's called software security. Now, looking at it, if you're 15 to 17, as much as we'd like you to head up the cybersecurity organization, you're going to be coming in at what we call an entry level. An entry level cybersecurity roles are going to require foundational knowledge and skills. Now, they serve as a stepping stone for professional growth. But how do you get started in that field? So let's look at an intro education. Along with advances in technology, education is experiencing a significant transformation. And a lot of this was enhanced during COVID, where people started to study from home. A lot of the colleges that I was teaching at, they went remote, which meant I was teaching and the students that I would interact with daily were remote. And they actually found that there were some significant benefits to that. So digital education, which is now being called e-learning, has become a major platform for expanding access to education. It is improving the quality of learning and encouraging overall student engagement. So, for example, if you're in Jamaica and you're in a little town way outside of the city, and you don't have access to that major college or university, You can go online and get your certification just as much as somebody in the United States. Using that certification, you can also get remote work for a company in the United States or Europe or Canada, as long as your certificate is valid, because you now know as much as the person in a major company or a major country. So entry-level positions are going to include titles like information security analyst, a junior penetration tester. So that's somebody who is testing your network to see how secure it is. You may have an information system security professional or a network security analyst. Those are some of the entry-level positions. But we also have to look at what are some of these trends that are occurring in the industry. So the digital education trends actually refer to developments and changes in the way that the education is delivered and how it's accessed and implemented by utilizing digital technology. And this digital technology is going to assist, especially those that may not be able to afford the cost of going to colleges and universities. And how can we use that information to their benefit or to your benefit? So cybersecurity, and I've always said this, once you become qualified in cybersecurity, you will never be without a job. Once you get in and have experience, you will never be without a job. There are always offers on the table. Cybersecurity takes the top spot for perceived organizational priority. Cybersecurity has 78% of the high priority in organizations. And then you're looking at IT support, employee productivity, your robust infrastructure, things like data analytics, back office applications, even the hype about artificial intelligence and web e-commerce. Those are low down. The high priority is cybersecurity. So it's a great area to get into. So how do we get there? Well, there are different paths that you may want to take. You could be looking at college or university, and we know in some countries how expensive that is. It may actually turn you off from even trying. Could I leave high school and go straight into a cybersecurity job? It is possible if you have training or you take the proper courses during your time at high school and immediately after, that you could get a position maybe as an intern or entry level to get in. And then you also have the process of what is called self-training or self-learned. Certifications and internship, where sometimes you actually do it free. I have had my kids who have actually worked for organizations and given their time free of charge, volunteering, but it allows them to put it on their resume that they have been doing a particular type of job, so that when they apply for a regular or full-time position, they now have it on their resume that they were doing it. And they also have somebody that can be called as a reference to speak about what their work performance was like. So the beauty of it is that now you have three options. So let me tell you about something that's really awesome. It's called the Certified in Cybersecurity, and it's offered by the strongest brand in cybersecurity, which is called ISC Squared. And guess what? It's free. It's not going to be free forever. It's free now. And they're giving away 1 million free ISC Squared certified in cybersecurity courses and exams. Now, if you see yourself in cybersecurity, You don't need experience. You just need passion and drive to enter this demanding and rewarding field, one that opens limitless opportunities. So ISC is offering this online self-paced training program and exams to 1 million people. So actually 500,000 people have already taken up this offer, and they're pursuing this, and they're walking away with an entry-level certification saying that they understand cybersecurity and they can do an entry-level position like a help desk or an analyst. But the fact is, they are now certified. So if you go to IC Squared and look at how the process is done, you can create an account, sign in, complete your candidate form, your application form. You can look at the benefits and look at some of the resources that are available, but you can get this actually free of cost. What's another route you could take? Well, CompTIA is another very powerful and strong brand that many people in cybersecurity and technology have used. This is actually a career path, starting at what is called the A+, which is very foundational for technology, or you could jump straight to Security Plus. But it's recommended that you do the A+. You don't need experience to do it. It's relatively inexpensive based on the returns that you'll get, but you have core subjects that you can try and take. And with the A+, it opens the doors to different areas like Server Plus, as you become more focused on that area in cybersecurity that you believe you'll enjoy. So you have Cloud Plus, you have Linux, you could become a professional pen tester, you could be in charge of data, you could be focused on cloud, or even the wonderful area of project management. But the key thing is that the A+ and the Security Plus are also very strong ways to get on that path. So if I was advising somebody today, I would start off with the certified in cybersecurity because it's free, and then move to the A+. This really helps you in this world of cybersecurity. But you could have a certificate in cybersecurity and be missing out on something critical. Another area or something that you've been born with and you've learned over a couple of years, and you've acquired them, and you can actually use them in the process. And these are your skills. You have skills that are transferable. Everybody has skills. Some people call it talents, but you acquire these skills over time. Now, transferable skills are skills that are used in one role, and you can transfer it to a position within an organization. Now, you may say, but I haven't worked before. Well, you may have skills demonstrated in high school or in college, and they're called portable skills. These abilities can be applied across different jobs or industries. Now, emphasizing these skills is crucial when you're transitioning between roles or sectors. You probably already possess many of these skills that employers seek, but you need to make sure that you're putting them on your resume and you're demonstrating them in your interview process, that you can bring this to the table along with the certificate that you now have. Now, this is going to include things like communication and how you relate to people and your attention to detail. Don't underestimate the impact of your transferable skills. If you lack experience required by a job description, use your transferable skills to enhance your resume. These skills acquired through part-time work, academic projects, or involvement in student organizations can be relevant to the position you're pursuing. Skills like teamwork, leadership, and communication are valuable in any setting, and everyone has them to some extent. So let's dig a little bit deeper. Communication. How would you say that you're good at communication? Well, as a cybersecurity analyst, you would need to communicate and collaborate with others to indicate what's happening. You'll be able to say how others question and deal with concerns and communicate information clearly to individuals with technical and non-technical knowledge. You might be very good at problem solving, because one of your main tasks as a cybersecurity analyst will be to proactively identify and solve problems. You can do this by recognizing the patterns of the attack, then determining the most efficient solution to minimize that attack. So don't be afraid to take risk and try new things. Also understand that it's rare to find a perfect solution to a problem. You likely need to compromise. What about time management? You may be good at time management. You have a heightened sense of urgency, and prioritizing tasks appropriately is essential for cybersecurity. So effective time management will help you minimize potential damage and risk to critical assets and data. Now, the growth mindset that you might have is really about understanding how to prioritize these tasks. There is an evolving industry, so an important transferable skill is a willingness to learn that technology moves fast. And key in this is your ability, and I say this strongly to people who are outside of North America. Because if you are trying to work with companies in North America, you have to be able to have a diverse perspective. Many of us, like myself, come from a country that have certain cultural differences, and you have to be able to learn to work with other people of different nationalities and beliefs. If you can't do that, then they're not going to allow you in. How you learn to accept people who are different from you is key, and you will get questions that are going to try to elicit that information from you. So let's talk about the benefits of digital education. The digital education is going to bring a number of significant benefits, the first of which is increased accessibility. It's unrestricted by the geography that you live in because you can access lessons from anywhere. The second advantage in digital education is going to be flexibility, which means you could have a part-time job from 8 to 12 and then study between 1 to 4. Students and educators have freedom to adjust their time. So you should be taking advantage of the time if you have the flexibility now that you're coming home from school or just not even working, but you have time right now to support what you're doing. But let's be realistic in terms of what some of the costs are. Apart from the certified in cybersecurity, which is essentially free, if you go the route of a CompTIA exam, it's approximately US $246 per exam, and you'd have to do 2. You have the Network Plus, which is about $358. Security Plus is $392. CISA, $392. Pen Test, $392. Now remember, once you start making money, this is a drop in the bucket in terms of your investment of time and cost to do the exam. But I do relate to the fact that depending on your stage in life and your status, you may not even have a dime to invest in it. So again, look at that, certified in cybersecurity and the transferable skills. Training costs for them could be $0 to $300. There's a lot of information on YouTube that you can source. People offer training free in many cases. And you have online training courses that can go from $200 to $1,500. There are bundles and discounts, so you have to do your own research to understand how much you're going to invest and the time. But the average course would be about 8 weeks at this stage. 8 weeks, maybe another 4 weeks to really dive into the material and take the exam. So if you started now, you could be certified by December. Digital education is going to offer other benefits. Your accessibility, where you enable learners to access training anytime, flexibility, which offers self-paced learning, accommodating diverse schedules and learning styles. Your cost effectiveness is going to reduce your cost. It's going to also look at hands-on experience. It provides this interactive simulations and labs, which are found online. You have the beauty of up-to-date content because it's going to ensure that you have the latest industry practices and the threats which are covered. It's scalable because it easily reaches a global audience like yourself, and it allows organizations to train multiple employees at the same time. It tailors the content to specific needs, roles, or skills. And the beauty is it's continuous learning. So you can start at entry level, and as you begin to focus and become a specialist, you can learn more about that particular area. So what are useful IT certifications for high school students? A certification is designed to assess the outcome of a course training. It shows that you have actually learned what you need to know. In fact, it doesn't even matter how you acquired the skills tested for. The important thing is that you have the knowledge and skills in questions, and it's demonstrated with the certificate. So why get IT certifications as a high school student? One, you have capacity. High school is a time when you typically have fewer responsibilities and much lower expenses. Two, you can gain direction. Students have the time before you go off to college, and you can choose the type of career that you want. You're working towards a certification, which is an easy way to explore technology and find out whether or not it's right for you. And you can also get a great head start. So educational accessibility, and you can focus on certification, allows you to really get into that specific area in IT which interests you. Now, being cognizant of the time, we need to just make sure that you understand that you have ISC squared, you also have Amazon AWS certified programs, and you also have Microsoft certified fundamentals. And there are different levels and different programs, beginner level certifications, and these skills will definitely enhance your resume. Begin to look at the CompTIA A+, because it's considered the best entry-level IT certification that is worth pursuing. And you can go to CompTIA A+ online and get additional details for that. You can get certified and get noticed with it. There are many companies that hire for that. And CompTIA certifications, as I've said, give you that foot up above others. Now, what are the best cybersecurity certificates? ISACA, IC squared, CompTIA, AWS. These are some of the key areas that you can look at. And Google has programs, many of them are free. These organizations offer credentials to suit security and IT professionals with various experience levels. Companies that are actually hiring and recommend are like Apple, HP, Motorola, Nissan, Xerox. So your career path should be that you select the certification, you register for the course, you complete the training, you take the exam, and you're now off to a successful life in cybersecurity. Various educational technologies, such as learning platforms, have classrooms, they have applications. All of these are catalysts for change. They open the door to more interactive learning and support. Make sure that your educational technology is like an e-learning. So you have a platform that you're comfortable with, giving you access to multiple courses. We, along with many other organizations, we act as pioneers of digital education. We need to continuously analyze the direction of future technology. So we need to explore together the challenges and opportunities that exist in shaping the curriculum. But everything I'm telling you is not without risk. There's a risk for young people. Misinformation about career prospects can lead to pursuing fields without limited opportunities. Pressure from your family or peers is also a risk. A lack of awareness about emerging industries. There may be financial concerns, and you may underestimate the commitment required. So I ask you to do your own research. Don't even take what I'm saying to be gospel. Do your own research. Because designing a curriculum and teaching methods for a 15 to 17-year-old poses unique challenges. And we have to all make sure that we're using and taking into consideration diverse interests and all of the different gaps between. So we are working with industry partners to provide real world context. Choose the best certification for you. Look at platforms like LinkedIn, Coursera, Khan Academy, and other introductory courses support your learning experience. Seek advice from career counselors or industry professionals and mentors. There are numerous opportunities for young people to gain valuable certifications by exploring their interests, leveraging online resources, and seeking guidance. They can access various certification programs that enhance their skills and career prospects. Seizing these opportunities early on can get a strong foundation. Thank you.